Mr. and Mrs. Cadre, thank you so much for having us at your home, and I am so honored to be able to support two outstanding leaders that will bring Naperville forward, Betty White for mayor and the man of the hour, Ashfaq Syed. Honestly, this community is the community I grew up in. I moved here when I was 3 years old. This is my home. And when I think about the opportunity that we have in this election in 3 days to ensure that we have a champion for the people, a voice for those who have been completely left out, abused, in my opinion, discounted and taken for granted in the decisions that are made on our city council, when we have an opportunity to elect a strong leader like Ashfaq to serve on the Naperville City Council, we have to embrace this opportunity. These kinds of opportunities do not come that frequently, where we have this synergy between amazing candidates. We have an opportunity, obviously, to elect a great executive in the mayor's office, to make sure that we have leaders at City Hall that share our values and who understand the assignment. And that is why I am so excited to celebrate the election of Ashfaq Syed in like literally 3 days, because you've done the work. You know, when I think about what it takes to move into a community like ours, and the way that our community can be very transient, and to jump in and to care enough about local issues, to embed yourself in the community, to be Mr. Naperville, literally. I am so excited about what you will do in this position. With, you know, in my line of work, we often talk about the importance of the voter. I want to talk about the importance of the citizen, of the resident, of the community member, and the opportunities that are here to lead in the positions that you hold. On his literature, Ashfaq talks about his role on the census and how Naperville didn't have an undercount, which is huge because we look at what happened in neighboring communities and the damaging impacts of the census undercount that is really holding some communities back. That didn't happen here because of his leadership. We think about what's going on in our library system and how our library continues to be this attractive place for students and residents all day, every day. I mean, there's an energy when you walk in. We don't have these battles here in Naperville about banning books and being restricted. We don't have folks coming into our libraries, harassing the librarians and trying to further their extremist agenda. Why? Because we've had excellent people like Ashfaq on our library boards representing us. And now we have the opportunity to bring this experienced leader to our city council. When I think about the challenges and opportunities facing the city, we're still growing. People think, oh, Naperville's done. No. We have an amazing opportunity to bring some affordable housing to this city, to reimagine what some of our legacy commercial venues look like, so they can be really more vibrant and inclusive. When we think about sustainability and the challenges that this city council will have to confront about putting us on a path to a sustainable green energy future. Those are the decisions that Naperville City Council are going to have to make every day. When I think about what it means to be the land of the free, and we have a community like the Islamic Center of Naperville that have been, in my opinion, really disrespected. The last time there was an issue that came before the city council, now we have an opportunity to elect a community member to serve on that decision-making body. And we're going to do it because of the energy and the commitment and the investment of those of you in this room. Now, I know y'all didn't just come in here today. You've been on Team Ashfaq from the beginning. It's been a 1 to 2 year journey. We've been plotting and planning for this very moment, but we don't stop right when we get almost to the finish line. What do? We run through the tape, and then we start to slow down. We don't start to slow down just as we're reaching the finish line, right? Because we want to be number one. We want folks to know that we mean business so that then you can serve boldly. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is this. I know that you're here, you made your contributions, Team Underwood is very, very pleased to be able to financially invest and support this campaign. I hope y'all got your mailers. Hopefully you still have okay, good. So thank you for making that investment. But I'm going to ask you to do this. Benny White said be a tenor, and I think that's good. Talk to 10 people. Well, we got a couple more days of early voting. When I went and voted early last week, it was a little quiet at Naperville Library. You know, the nice election judges looked a little bit, shall I say bored? Yeah. Like they hadn't had a lot of visitors. You know, we want them to be looking like, wow, these folks in Naperville mean business. They just keep voting. We want that kind of energy. So we need your help to get people out to vote. We know people here share values. We know they care about the issues that Ashlock has been leading on. We just need to get them out to vote. Okay? So please, 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 please think about everybody on your phone, all your contacts. This is the time to be in touch. This is the time to dig deep so we can get Ashlock across the finish line. We're going to do it for Naperville. We're going to do it for our neighborhoods. We're going to do it for our community. Thanks, everybody.
Any questions? If you have anything.
Did you all have questions? They had told me that you might want to do some QA, so I'm happy to chat. There's just been a little news this week. Not a lot going on, just a little bit. No? Really?
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
What do you think about Trump's indictment?
I knew. It's not impeachment this time. Okay, so the indictment. No one's above the law. Like our great judges who are here, that we are going to be re-electing in 24. Having judges on the bench that share values, right? I think it's also really important that we have prosecutors who are willing to take the incoming in pursuit of the law and making sure that we don't have leaders who feel unimpeachable and that they're above the law. And I think that it's extraordinary that we see this particular prosecutor who has been just battered in the press and by our former president, staying focused on his task on behalf of the people in New York. And I'm certainly looking forward to seeing what those charges may look like. And I will be paying close attention on Tuesday, as I suspect you will too, sir.
Yes. Question for you. Should there be any consequences to bank officials who are a little bit careless with their investments and allow their banks to fail, like Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank?
Yeah, I think that there's a variety of individuals that are looking really closely at what's happened with this latest disruption to our financial services sector. And in the past, we've seen both the rescues and the accountability take place. Now, I'm not sure what type of criminal kind of action could be pursued. I don't want to speak out of turn to that end. But I do believe that we are seeing some of the federal agencies take a hard look at the actions of those bank leaders to make sure that they were complying with existing federal regulations. And I think that the level of risk that those leaders were willing to assume is also coming under great scrutiny. And I also believe that we will see some evaluation of what's going on in these Fed boards. As you are probably aware, the president, I think, or the CEO of Silicon Valley Bank was on the San Francisco Fed board. And I think that while we want to see industry representation on governing bodies, that created a real challenge when that oversight agency was not as robust in evaluating what was going on at this particular financial institution. And so even if the law enforcement individuals may choose not to file charges or whatever, I certainly think that there's an appetite within the Congress of reevaluating the circumstances that happened that allowed this to occur. I don't think that congressional action would be in like the next several weeks, but certainly throughout this term, I think you're probably going to see this discussion continue.
That seems to be a pattern of rollbacks that happened under the prior administration that have manifested in the trade realness, the changes with regard to regulation of the vet industry, to FAA regulation of that industry, the
Yes.
banking regulations that were all pulled back under the last administration, and the changes that have happened with regard to day-to-day safety for all of us.
That's right.
So I do hope, and I know Congress will be looking into that as well.
That's right. Yes,
So,
sir.
a quick question here, so, in addition to yourself,
Yes,
after hopefully President Biden gets reelected,
yes. Let's
who
go.
do we have as up and coming, people to kind of step in after him? Because I'll tell you, the right scares me even more with DeSantis and Trump, so it's awful.
You know, we have a great bench of talent. I look at the governors. You know, it's no secret that our governor is looking at the White House. We have Governor Newsom, Governor Whitmer in Michigan, who's just fantastic. Obviously, we have some folks in the cabinet, like Secretary Buttigieg, who's very excited about, I think, additional leadership opportunities. I don't think that's a secret to anybody. We have our Vice President, Kamala Harris, who I think is going to be well positioned to seek higher office if she so chooses.
What about Lauren Underwood?
Oh.
Yes.
No, thank you. Thank you.
We'll give you 2 years.
I appreciate that confidence. Now, what I will say is that we are officially exploring the statewide run. I will tell you that. You know, I'm not going to force it, ever. I can tell you that with confidence, sir.
I can tell you something about her she might not say. She appeals to everyone, not just Democrats, and I'm 1,000% Democrat. But do you know, was it 4 pieces of legislation she got through under the prior administration as a freshman Congresswoman?
Wow, that's right.
It just doesn't happen because she's beautiful. It happens because she's so hardworking, and she just steps up and gets people to listen to her. You know, that's what you do.
And not get sidetracked.
And not get sidetracked by junk. That's true.
Yes, and we're gonna stay focused, and we're not gonna get sidetracked because we have an election in 3 days.
That's right.
And we have to win.
Yes.
We didn't even spend time talking about the other side, and I'm gonna do what I told Ashok to do. We have to draw the contrast. Let's talk about these folks who are running on the other side. There are some Republican extremists that are funded by far-right, hateful activist groups that use violent means to enact their agenda, and they are also running for Naperville City Council. Some of them may share a similar ethnic background, and we cannot let them win. We can't go backwards. We cannot begin this slippery slope to authoritarianism like we see happening in other places. We are electing that front line right now. And Ashok and Betty and so many of our other friends, Democratic friends who share values, will be excellent representatives for us. But if we don't show up, and if our folks don't show up, and we just stay home and we're like, oh, Ashok's got it, I know him, I believe in him, he'll be fine, the other guys will. That's it. It's up to us. There's more of us than there are of them, and if we don't show up, they win. Okay? You with me?
Yes.
Okay, let's get out the vote. Okay, oh, yes, sir.
For you, Underwood. For last 5 months, I've been actually on the campaign trail,
Yes.
and I have seen so much hate messages on my social media, on my face. Somebody
Yes.
wrote to me, I hate Muslims. Somebody wrote some nasty things, I've been in this, I'm still not on the seat. I'm just running. In 5 months, I have seen what it takes to run for office now. How do you handle all these challenges?
Oh, yes, sir.
And you have been on the seat, before the seat, and everything.
People are so mean and nasty online. And I read it all. Some people don't, I do. I call it brand management.
Yeah.
But you can take whatever position you want on that. But know who you are, and know why you're here, and why you serve. And I would also say, you have to hear threats and understand them, and seek help. Do not be ashamed to seek help when somebody issues a threat. We should not have to die to serve our community. We should not have to be injured. Our families should not have to live on the terror of possibly being attacked. Listen, we got attacked at work, okay? January 6th, right? That was a workplace violent attack. And so y'all see me sometimes with our security friends, and they help keep us safe. It shouldn't take all that, but it does sometimes, right? Our officers from the Naperville Police Department have been extremely responsive and helpful. And I have said it publicly, and I'll say it to you all. And I would not hesitate one moment. If somebody says something that's inappropriate to you or about you online, that's a threat, you need to report it. Do not hesitate. That's for everybody. You see it, just share it. Because they have files on people, they do little courtesy nudges, and then they will go and make arrests. Okay? And I'm certainly here to have you back on all that. So. Sorry to take it in that direction. I don't have to like uplifting, like, go get them on the attacks and the threats, because it's real.
Yeah, I'd like to invite my daughter Sana to keep it.
Thank you so much. That's really good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Carter. Thank you. Thank you all so much for your support.